What's up, everyone? It's Suko the Great One here, and today I want to talk about something I'm really passionate about, something that I think could take this year's Battlefield 6 from already amazing to next level iconic, and that's the return of 128 player lobbies. And listen, okay? I already know some people are going to roll their eyes because the moment that you mention 128 players, people start bringing up technical stuff or the issues from Battlefield 2042. But hear me out. This video isn't about that. This is about the idea, the potential, and the absolute insanity in a good way that 128 players could bring to Battlefield 6. So to begin, here's where my take comes from, okay? So I grew up watching my older brother play these, classics such as Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 on PS4, and my brother, he would talk about these games like they were sacred. But I really just never heard them out. He would tell me about like the huge maps, the crazy moments, all the chaos, basically everything that made Battlefield Battlefield. But the thing is, I actually never got to play Battlefield growing up, just because I didn't have a console then, and when I did, I was mostly a Siege player. Which shout out to Rainbow Six Siege. But my first real Battlefield experience, as sad as it was actually Battlefield 2042. And yeah, I know 2042 had a reputation and not exactly a good one, but honestly, for me, I ended up loving the game. And it's a huge part of why I like the idea of 128 player lobbies. Now, at the time, I don't know what it was, but 128 player lobbies just hit different. Like, just the fact of, like, all that chaos, like that nonstop action, the feeling that something was always happening around you, that's when I finally understood what Battlefield really is. And the things that, stuck with me or resonated with me most is like, you don't have to be cracked. Like, you don't have to drop 50 kill games to have fun in those lobbies. Like, even just running around through madness felt meaningful. And every 128 player lobby felt alive. Like, you might be in a tank on one side of the map. Meanwhile, a squad with like a transport chopper is dropping on a building. Meanwhile, like a tornado is like literally ripping through another objective. All while you have like boots on the ground infantry fighting for every inch. Like, come on. Like, there's no. You can't tell me at that time like there was a FPS that gave you that kind of scale. Not Call of Duty, not Apex, not X Defiant, nothing. Nothing came close to what I experienced in that 2042 Battlefield. And that's why it matters to me. Because like it's the purest form of Battlefield chaos, I would like to think. Now look, I'm not ignoring the criticism, okay? When I posted this on the Battlefield 6 Reddit that has like over a mil people, the general response was basically, oh, it's a bad idea, too many technical problems, hit registration might get worse, desync could happen, we don't want another 2042 situation. And listen, trust me, I heard every single comment. Okay, I will leave a link to the post in my description here for you guys to check out and give your thoughts and your take, whatever. But honestly, on a real note, I just felt like people were nitpicking anything they could, and like, you know what? That's just the internet, right? If someone cured cancer, there would be still that one guy saying, I don't know, like seems kind of mid, and I get that. It's the internet, and again, that's not the point of this video. I'm not here to break down, server architecture or bandwidth load or whatever. This is about the idea, the possibility of what 128 players would feel like in Battlefield 6. Now, let's just imagine for a sec. Let's just brainstorm and just let our imagination run wild for a sec, okay? So, let's start with this. Battlefield 6 already looks insane, right? The modern gritty tone, the lighting, the animations, the movement, the gunplay, let alone the destruction in this game, everything already feels polished, right? It's peak. Now, imagine taking all of that, right? All of that visual polish, all of that fluid gameplay, all those improved mechanics, and putting 128 players into that world. Come on. Picture this, okay? If that didn't sell you already in itself, picture this, okay? You spawn in and immediately hear jets ripping above you, okay? Tanks are firing across the map. A skyscraper is half collapsed and people are fighting inside of it. Your squad is yelling to push an objective where 40 players are all clashing at once. That's the kind of stuff that makes Battlefield stand out from every other FPS. And the best part, it doesn't even have to replace anything. It doesn't have to be like a main mode. Like just having it as like an optional mode adds value to the entire game. It adds value in terms of like gives you options to play. And with all the modes and everything that's already going on in this game, I don't think one more hurts. Okay? I don't think it does. And here's the thing. We know massive modes can work in this game. Like this huge player count, idea that I'm trying to bring to you guys and, hopefully to Battlefield if they watch this, isn't like some impossible fantasy, right? Like we already have a RedSec or a Battle Royale game mode that's running 100 player lobbies consistently with like almost no issues. Like, okay, yeah, of course there are some bugs, some things that I'm experiencing here and there, but nothing that's like, I'm not playing this game, or like nothing too prevalent, like, you know what I mean? But we play these. There's people that play these modes every single day, right? So if 100 could run, why not 128? It's not like some sci-fi number. Like it's not 28 more people split into two teams versus like these like mini duo squads, quad squads. Like it's whatever they have going on right now. I feel like it's more complex than this idea of two teams, 64 people each team. But anyways, even in Battlefield 2042, which was far from perfect, 128 player lobbies still delivered some of the craziest moments the series has ever had. Okay? And as short-lived as it was, like, they had some problems in the beginning of the year and kind of sorted it out towards the end, whatever, that's not the greatest look. But I feel like all that causes people to forget, some of those crazy moments that the series has had. And even if it just came back as a portal mode, this 128 player idea, I think it would still be worth it. And, last year, 2042 sometimes needed bots to fill matches, but that didn't matter to me. Like, like the chaos was still there, the fights were still wild, and those moments were still unforgettable. So imagine that now, okay? But with Battlefield 6's improved engine and gameplay systems, I think it would be insane in the best way. Battlefield 6 has been amazing to me so far. I'm really enjoying my time and, I guess efforts on this game. I'm already like 265 hours deep, which is crazy to think how fast that felt, just blowing by. But I've been enjoying it a lot, and I'm probably gonna keep playing this game and adding more hours. So no shame in my game there. But anyways, adding these 128 player lobbies, even as a side mode, I think would elevate the game even higher than it already is. And that's not because of stats, and that's not because of the skill, that's not because of technical stuff. That's simply just because of the scale and chaos and pure Battlefield identity. And I think sometimes we forget that gaming is supposed to be fun, right? Like, not everything has to be a balance between perfection. Not every mode has to be competitive. Sometimes, you just want to hop into absolute madness and have a good time. And that's what 128 players gave us. And that's why I think it deserves a comeback. But hey, that's just Suko's take. But I'm really curious to see what you guys think, and if you would want to see 128 player lobbies return in Battlefield 6, or if you think it should stay in the past and we should just remain in the current state, which is 64 players, 32v32, etc. There's nothing wrong with this game. I think it's mint. I think it's perfect. They put the nail in the coffin this year. So, I don't think that this is a stretch to ask for, really. But anyways, drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, obviously don't forget to leave a like. hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't, miss my future uploads. And yeah, this was Suka the Great One, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.